Hi, everybody. This is Lowell, and we're talking about how to start a music school. And this section is devoted to uh, essentially leadership skills and interpersonal skills. And the first rule that I have, that I understand about leadership, is to lead yourself well. And so personal management has to precede business management. And there's no way that you can stay organized as a business person without having personal discipline. And so when you're talking about personal discipline, you're talking really about understanding priorities and time management. And you don't really manage time, you manage yourself. And we all have the same amount of time, but we, in terms of being a disciplined person, you're learning to manage yourself well. And as you learn to manage yourself well, then you can also extend that to other people that are in your business. And so, as I mentioned just a minute ago, the first aspect of leading yourself well and time management, we call it time management, is learning to have priorities. And what I've learned, and everybody's a little bit different with this, but what I've learned that works best for me, and I know that a lot of people have the same mindset, is to whatever is the highest priority, just not emotionally, not oh, this is what I really like to do, or just whatever you see as the most, just analytically, what is the most important thing. If you have a list of 10 things that need to be accomplished that day, then what are the top two most important things. And so there's a thing called the Pareto principle, which is 20% will, if you take care of the top 20%, the rest of the 80% is going to take care of itself pretty much. So you need to leverage your time and your energy to take care of the first two things out of the 10 things that need to happen that day, and do those first. And so if you spend time quietly, in the morning thinking about things, that's really what I find is the best time to strategize and understand and prioritize what, and see in your, internally, how to take care of things. Other people, I've heard they say that they do this before they go to bed. And so overnight, their I guess subconscious has a way of processing. If they basically look at their to-do list and they've checked off all the things that they've done, are thankful for what they've gotten done that day, and then they see for the next day, what probably needs to be done, and by the time they wake up, they have a sense of it. For me, I get a sense of it in the morning, early morning. I get sort of a, you can call it prayer. I call it prayer because I'm a Christian. Some of you have different ideologies of life. I'm a Christian, and so Jesus, in his example, it says that he woke up early in the morning and went out into the wilderness to pray. And so sometimes he actually spent all night in prayer before he made important decisions like choosing his disciples and so forth. But anyway, I've found that if I will, spend time in prayer and think about the things that need to happen for that day, that I get a picture of what needs to happen, and I can take care of the top 2% or top 20% of what needs to happen. And it really is true. If I can get for sure the top 20% done in the first couple hours of the day, and then the next, say, 40% before noon, and then if I get another 20%, so that's 80% done, by the end of the day, and let's say I have 20% left over, the bottom 20% that I didn't get to, then it's like a lot of times it doesn't really matter. That last 20% didn't really need to be done. Sometimes I can get all 100% done that day. But learning how to prioritize and stick to your priorities, and that really it goes back to how I started this entire series of starting with the word why. Simon Sinek wrote a book called Start with Why. And so if you start with why, then you can start understanding your values and your priorities of what is the most important. That's probably the greatest struggle that you'll have as a leader and as a business owner, is to identify what those top priorities are, and that goes back to your motivation and your reasons for what you're doing.